Well, remember how conservatives used to hate those close 5-4 Supreme Court decisions? Well, they like this one by 5-4 on Thursday. The Supreme Court voted to change campaign finance rules that have been around for decades. What's it mean for the future? Who wins, who loses? Attorney Ben Ginsburg was the national counsel for the Bush presidential campaign in 2000 and again in 2004. Fred Wertheimer is the president of Democracy 21, a nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy group focused on money and politics. Fred, the way I read this thing, it means corporations can spend as much money as they want, as much as they've got, and can get past their stockholders to knock off a politician they don't like, or get one in they like.
Knock off a politician who is not prepared to vote for their interests. This is a disaster for citizens. It gives corporations a predominant role on the outside in buying influence, in corrupting
How far does it take us back, Fred? When can you do this before?
This takes us back more than a century. The effort to prevent corporate wealth being used in federal campaigns started in 1907. It was strengthened in 1947. It's a century of history thrown out the door. It's 3 Supreme Court precedents overturned by the most radical decision we've ever seen in the campaign finance.
You guys used to hate 5-4 decisions back in the Warren days. They were not really good law. Now you're giggling because you've thrown out all restraint on corporate power over American politics by 5-4.
I wouldn't describe it as a giggle. 5-4 is beauty in the eye of the beholder. I think we ought not to be quite so afraid of free speech breaking out.
Do corporations have voices and souls?
Corporations and unions have points of view that are part of the political debate. What the First Amendment is based on is the marketplace of ideas with lots of voices singing loudly. You have some problems with this decision because of the way the system now becomes, but it's not because of letting people speak.
But this isn't free speech. Corporations have all kinds of ways of speaking. This comes down to whether corporations can corrupt government decisions by basically threatening elected officials or candidates with unlimited expenditures if they don't vote the right way from their standpoint. Now, that's been prohibited for a century. And all of a sudden, this court comes in here with no track record before it, throws out 3 decisions, and the only change in circumstance that's occurred is the new makeup of the court. So you got new court members, and if that's the way Supreme Court decisions are going to be made, then we're going to see the court decisions
right now, listen,
change
the average person out there can give how much money to a candidate?
As of now, you can give $108,000 a year.
No, actual hard money, federal money.
Federal money, a total of $108,000 a year.
Per candidate, $2,400 per primary, and $2,400
total of $108,000 a year per individual in an election cycle.
$108,000.
Yes, that is the current federal
parties and candidates. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much can you give to a particular candidate?
$2,400 per election.
But the corporations under this rule give any amount.
Not give.
Well,
spend.
Spend. They can't give money to the candidate.
But suppose somebody doesn't like Barbara Boxer and they represent the United Fruit, if they're still around, and they want to give a ton of money to get rid of Barbara Boxer as a senator. They can do it, right?
You mean like individuals have always been able to do in our election?
Not give.
Individuals have always been able to spend unlimited amounts. What the court said was that you can't distinguish between an individual and a corporation.
So I can give an unlimited amount of money to the person running against Barbara Boxer?
No.
Oh, right. See, that's the point.
You can spend.
Okay.
You can spend.
Can we guys keep it simple? If an average person wants to spend an unlimited amount of money to help a candidate get elected by giving money to pay money per TV ads, they can't do it.
Yes,
but
they can. An individual can spend an unlimited amount of money on ads about an election candidate.
Just one candidate?
Yes, they can do independent expenditures in unlimited amounts.
So I can pick a candidate and give it as an individual and give all I want to help them win?
Absolutely. Not to them. You can spend it on them.
Buy ads for them.
Spend it on them.
Buy ads for them.
You can, on your own, buy ads.
You can?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so the court said that corporations and individuals...
Why don't people do that instead of giving the candidates then?
Well, some do, but most haven't, since they've been able to do it for a long time. Look, corporations and individuals...
In other words, this really is just a big lot, huh?
Chris, corporations and individuals are not the same. Corporations don't vote. They should not have the same kind of capacity to influence our elections. You use an example. I'll take one, AIG. Let's suppose AAG is mad at you because you weren't willing to bail them out. They're now free to take you out with $5 or $10 million, and every corporation, banks, drug companies, insurance companies now.
Well, how about all the energy companies? All the energy companies that don't like George Soros has, kill it, right?
And the SEIU has. Unions are far more organized today than corporate America. They've been spending money on unlimited and independent expenditures in their own particular ways. And the court said that individuals and corporations should be on an even.
So this basically kills McCain-Feingold, right?
Yes.
No, it kills a part of McCain-Feingold. It doesn't kill McCain-Feingold's prevention of soft money.
Sounds like a lurch to the right. Isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure I'd agree with that. I think you've got a problem because, as Fred was starting to say, candidates in political parties are now the softest voices in the political
I've learned
process.
something I never knew, that an average person go a network like this and spend all the money they want advocating some candidate to
Always
win.
been able to do that.
It hasn't happened.
I've never heard anybody do it.
It hasn't happened.
Somebody like Donald Trump said, I like this guy.
It has happened.
I've never seen this happen. Anyway, I've learned something tonight. Ben Ginsberg, Fred Wertheimer, up next.